All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to this very exciting panel on sustainability innovation as an economic opportunity. My name is Hassan Shamsuddin from Smark. Smark is a boutique management consulting firm that is focused on innovation and technology, and I'm very honored to be your moderator for this session today. Today, we're going to explore how sustainability innovation does not only allow to address climate challenges, but also can be an economic driver, can create really economic value. And for this, we have with us our distinguished panelists. We have, first of all, Dr. Abderrahman Al-Fawzan, who is the principal advisor at the Environment Fund, which has been really at the forefront of driving sustainability innovation in the kingdom. We also have with us Mrs. Christine Gould, the founder of Thought for Food, which has also been advancing innovation in the agri-food sector. And last but not least, we have Mr. Matt Sprague from South Pole, which is a company that's a global leader in climate solutions. So let's dive right into it. I would like to start with you, Dr. Abderrahman. Let's set the stage for us and for the audience, first of all. When we talk about sustainability innovation, what do we really mean? What is sustainability innovation? Everyone's been talking about it, but can we actually define this term?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Hassan. Yeah, it's wise to clarify and simplify the topic before we go deep with our distinguished guests. Let's take the integrating the sustainability practices into business or economic strategy. We're gonna create for us a profitable opportunities. Also, at the same time, we are protecting our environment. So we have green practice. We have to embed it or integrate it with the economic strategy. Then the equation of this one, the result will be a profitable opportunity. At the same time, we protect our environment. However, many people, back to your question, is there any different type for sustainability innovation? Yes. Most of the people think only the technology. Yes, the technological innovation is the main one where you're gonna develop green practice, green technologies to enhance the life, to reduce the environmental impact. For example, solar energy, for example, electric cars, etc. However, we have more. We have process innovation as one of the environment or one of the sustainability innovation. You are talking about enhancing the process. Make it easy, optimizing. You are talking about, for example, supply chain optimization. It's one of the examples. If you implement one of the new tools for Six Sigma, Lean Six Sigma, you are enhancing the environment. Furthermore, we have business model innovation. Transforming the business model to prioritize the sustainability is one of the innovation. You are, for example, approaching like circular economy. Also, we have many different types: social innovation. We have market innovation. All these types of sustainable innovation drive the business development to sustainable development and balancing the economic strategy, also protecting the environment. Different type. I'm sure my colleague gonna mention about the vertical farming. They did a great job. Also the blockchain and the supply chain transparency, where you're gonna trace. Also, we have in general one, the famous one for the climate change is the carbon capture.
Yes, a very good point actually, because it really does encompass multiple sectors, but also there is the part about business model innovation, which we're going to talk about today also in our panel.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of the different sectors, so I'm going to you, Matt. So we know that sustainability spans across various sectors, going from food security to water management to resource efficiency. From your perspective and your experience, which of these sectors hold the greatest promise when it comes to driving economic growth, and how can really organizations contribute to unlocking these opportunities?
Great, thanks Hassan. It's great to be here talking to you today. When we look at sustainability and climate change, there's always two sides to the coin. There's the adaptation side, and there's also the mitigation side. So we need to look at both the climate risks and how that might impact companies and corporates, and also the opportunity side of new technology, new innovation, changing business models. We were talking in the green room about radical transformation and helping companies change both their business models, processes, and approaches to avoid the worst impacts of climate change and achieve net zero. So there was a few recent reports out that estimated that the transition to net zero was going to cost somewhere between $200 and $275 trillion. So there is obviously a market there. There is huge investment required across the world to support that transformation. In terms of sectors, water security being the desert COP is obviously a key topic. Food security is a huge topic, especially in countries like Saudi Arabia. But we need the innovation to solve real-world challenges. So whilst blue sky research is critical and fundamental, we need startups and scale-ups to understand the challenges that companies and industry is facing in the world. And when we work with our companies, which are typically larger corporates, a lot of multinationals, they really struggle with Scope 3 emissions, supply chain decarbonization, understanding voluntary carbon market, and managing their climate risks. So any tools and innovation that can help with that, and Dr. Abdul Rahman mentioned blockchain for Scope 3 and for supply chains is really, really important. In terms of what technologies I think we need, I think in terms of the big ticket items, a lot of the technology is kind of already here. It's already been developed. We just need it to be scaled very rapidly, and the price needs to come down. So the energy transformation, we have renewables, we have batteries, but there's a price point that we need to work on in terms of the battery storage. The big sectors that I think need real innovation is the cement sector and the steel sector, and those are both huge emission sources globally, and there is technology there, but it's just not at the scale we need it to be.
Yes. I noticed you didn't mention the agri-food sector, which is...
I will leave that to Christine.
Yes, thank you for leaving this to Christine. So Christine, to you, and concerning the agri-food sector specifically, we know that today the sector faces a dual challenge. One is to feed a growing population, but also doing so while maintaining sustainability and reducing environmental footprint while doing so. How are organizations advancing innovation today in agriculture to create sustainable solutions with tangible economic growth?
Yeah, thank you so much. And what a pleasure it is to be here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, a country that I believe stands to really lead the charge when it comes to developing solutions for climate-smart agriculture. I believe that KSA actually can become a beacon for innovation that can be spread globally as more countries are facing the climate challenges that come from issues like desertification and drought that have been experienced firsthand here. One of the messages that I try to impart to some of the leaders I meet here in the Middle East is that your constraints can actually be your advantages. When we are looking at some of the challenges facing food systems here in the kingdom, for example, water availability, low soil quality, these are places where innovation can really step in to create exciting opportunities. So really like what you said about the fact that we need to balance risk and opportunity when it comes to innovation and sustainability. Right now, there's a lot of risk, and I think as human beings, we're very good at problem solving, when there is a challenge right here in front of us. But there's also huge opportunities to be pursuing, opportunities worth trillions of dollars annually. Just to put some of those numbers in scope, right now our food systems are costing us about $12 trillion. If you take all of the costs that come from, unsustainable practices and chronic illness that comes from bad diets, et cetera, that are perpetuated in our current food system models. That said, experts have said that it will only take $400 billion a year to transform our food system.
Wow.
And by doing that, we will unlock $4.5 trillion in annual economic innovation opportunities.
Wow.
So there's really a financial windfall that we could be pursuing, but we're not
You're
thinking
talking only about the food sector,
in
particularly.
the food sector. So actually, that's a really important point that you're raising, because you asked him earlier, like, what's the most important, sustainability
biggest sector,
challenge to go after? Actually, our food system is at the heart of it all. If you look at our 17 Sustainable Development Goals, like, at the core of it is food. Food is related to water, it's related to biodiversity, it's related to economic development, to women's empowerment, to peace and stability. So really, it all starts with food. It also touches every single person every single day on our planet. So it really is the biggest lever we have. It also, just going back to the opportunities we have to pursue, it doesn't take much, to be honest. We are the least digitized industry sector, so just bringing simple digital tools into agriculture can make a huge difference. We're facing an aging crisis. The average age of the world's farmers is over 65 years old. Because of that, we're dealing with that digital divide, if you will. So we need to bring in new minds into how we're going to be thinking about feeding the planet. And we have a few incumbents, big companies that hold a lot of power. And so with that means that we have inertia to change. And so I've been working with startups all over the world to help to bring forward their innovative solutions. Many of them are digitally led, biotechnology, nanotechnology, you name it. They have solutions to real-world problems that can solve these existential challenges for humanity. But exactly what you said, the problem is scaling them. And I believe that we have a chance to redefine what scaling means. Right now, we're operating by...
You're bringing me to my next question, so yes, so go ahead.
Just really quickly,
Yes,
just
no,
to
go
say,
ahead, go ahead.
we're dealing with an outdated model of how we think about innovation and investment. We used to apply one-size-fits-all approaches. I have a blockbuster active ingredient, let's apply it globally. I have a biotechnological solution, let's put it in one variety and sell that globally. But now we're seeing that we have the chance to adopt decentralized, localized solutions, and that is going to lead us to more sustainable impact, because the solutions are going to be contextual, locally relevant, and impactful over the long term. So that's a new type of
Let's tackle scalability from a bigger picture. So let's look at it let's take a step back and look at scalability for sustainable startups, sustainability innovation startups. What do you believe are the biggest barriers that these startups are facing today in order to scale from just a pilot project into a large-scale implementation? Let's start with you, Dr. Abdurrahman, and then I'll listen also to Matt regarding this.
Yeah, thank you. I wish there is one reason so we can find one solution for this one. However, the sustainability innovation facing a challenge, not because it's sustainability. No, most of the innovation as a startup company or even late stage, they are facing the same challenges. Some challenges is the high cost. It's need capex. Some of them is they have limited technology limitation. Some of them complex regulation. We have to change. And so on. And some of the solution, if you are looking for, if you want to grow, scale up, you are looking for investors. Some investors are looking for short payback period, not looking for. So if you know these, you have to think about the solution. Some investors, sustainability innovation, they have two, and some of them they have one issue. I met one company last week. They receive tons of tender or contract, but they know they have technical limitation. They ask me, we need to, what do you think? I ask them to please invest in the R&D.
So really, it's a multifold, actually, problem. It can be technical, it can be financial.
Also can be, you have to use innovative financing. Innovative financing, that means try to explore. There is different fund. There is a crowding fund. There is a green bond. you have to explain. It's not only one angel or investors a specific one. You have to expand. But in my opinion, from my experience, I'm sure my colleagues know more than this one. Some CEO of the company, they are not, they are the brain, they are the who create this idea, but they don't know what's their problem. They thought it's because of the others, not of them. They have to hire, even if you ask them, tens or hundreds of founders. When I asked them, please explain your idea, your company to me, he couldn't because he's in the middle of the cup.
Yeah.
So I asked him, please go out and explain it to me.
So sometimes
and
it's
please
also
to
human
hire.
capability.
Human
can be,
capability. And
Matt, very quickly also on this before I move to our last question, just because of the short time we still have. So your point of view on the challenges and the barriers today for scalability, for sustainability.
I agree with the points already made. I think sometimes it is purely a funding issue, as in investment, but I think more often it's finding market fit. So it's that long-term revenue stream of a product that, again, is going back to solving a real challenge for a client. So I think a lot of the time innovation is built in an ivory tower. There's a founder that has a fantastic idea, loves the solution, but it's not actually a solution to a real-world challenge. So making sure that the product and the technology is developed to innovate for a purpose, and then working with an end buyer or understanding the end users as well, because they have a lot of hesitancy and reluctancy to adopt new innovation because it could fail. And so are they going to change their fundamental business practices for your new technology if it hasn't been proven in the real world, or it's not solving a challenge that they're really struggling with? So I think there is a bit of VC funding problem and getting startup costs, but it's also making sure that, going back to the CEO needs to take a step out, I think put it really nicely, of what problem we're actually trying to solve here.
Thank you very much. We had more questions prepared, but given that we're running out of time, I'm going to ask my last question for today's panel. So as sustainable sectors are growing, they can be perceived as disruptive or even threatening to traditional or legacy sectors. And I think this is a topic that's not addressed enough. How do you envision, so I will listen to all three of you, a future where emerging sustainable sectors can coexist and even, not only coexist, but even enhance legacy industries by fostering both economic growth and environmental responsibility? Let's start with you, Christine.
Sure. It's a great question, and I think that requires kind of a reframe in mindsets. Let's talk specifically about a quite hot innovation trend in agriculture, which is regenerative agriculture. Regenerative agriculture is going beyond sustainability. It doesn't have a specific definition, but it really is about focusing on outcomes that lead to a net positive impact. Now, many people in the narrative about regenerative agriculture talk about the costs and times it takes to make this transition, and it's true. When you're moving farmers to a new set of practices and tools that lead to these positive outcomes, it's new to them, and there is a transition period. People say it's between 5 and 7 years. But what I think we're not factoring into this discussion is the benefits that come. So we're talking about the costs and how do we fund the transition, but there's a big upside. Right now it's quite anecdotal and we need to invest in building the evidence base here, but what we're seeing is that by adopting regenerative practices, farmers are actually increasing the quality, taste, and nutrient density of crops grown this way. That's a huge value proposition to the industry and to consumers. People are willing to pay for that. They might not be willing to pay for sustainability like carbon sequestration and better water use because those, don't have that kind of benefit right now. I mean, companies like yours are starting to build the markets for that. But I think what the industry knows well is they want, for example, oranges that taste better, that are disease resistant, and that don't deteriorate in the supply chain. Regenerative ag stands to deliver that. So that's a new value proposition I want to talk more about because that incentivizes the change. Another thing that we've discovered is if you look at corporate innovation, corporates are really good at ancillary innovation, core innovation, which is what they're already doing, and then looking towards how they can innovate around commercial adjacent or technology adjacent spaces. But there's this whole other paradigm, which is actually disruptive growth. And those are the spaces that are hard to innovate in, but that future-proof your strategies. So we're starting to do more and more work with companies that say, this is a space that might put us out of business, but actually can represent a huge growth opportunity if we get it right. So we're investing in that sector too.
Thank you so much. We ran out of time. I just want to ask our guests if you have a closing remarks on this particular topic, Dr. Abdulrahman and Matt.
Yeah, I think I want to, after thanking all of you, integration, sustainability practice into the economic strategy should become essential, not exception.
Thank you, Doctor. Matt, any closing words?
Yeah, for the legacy industry and the large multinationals that are trying to innovate in this space and trying to drive towards net zero and also reducing their biodiversity impacts and plastic and water impacts as well, I think they need to identify how to transform their business. There is no business around today that can operate the way they are operating in 2024, 2025 and be net zero by 2050 without some huge transformational change in the next 25 years. So being open to innovation, looking at changing business practices, looking at regenerative agriculture, organic fertilizers, soil regeneration is really key. And then on top of that is investing in nature. So investing in biodiversity, investing in carbon projects, looking outside their value chain to see what work they can do with people, with land, with nature, to have real social benefits as well as innovation and monetary benefits as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our incredible panelists for this very insightful discussion. We've seen how sustainability innovation is not just about solving climate challenges, but also it can be a vital driver for economic growth. So thank you so much for bringing your experiences to this stage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.